Same as we did with the previous project, let's make a copy of it. So I will copy the existing project. Let me paste it here. And I would call it timer programming. Okay. Okay, we have the new project. Everything looks good, so let's open the IUC file. Quick note, this is part of my full STM32 course. The complete course with the full documentation is on stepschool.com, link below. And as I said you before, the clock drives all the peripherals. Like without having clock, the peripheral will be turned off, will be off. So in our timer, you see it's disabled. So to turn on, I will choose internal clock as the clock source. Once we do it, we have a new window where we configure different things. So in this project, I want to also show these configurations. I already presented in the previous lesson. So what we can do right now, we can choose HSI as the clock source. So when I choose it, you see how the values changed. So we have 16 megahertz internal clock, which we will use as the internal clock. So we have 16 megahertz. And if you look at timers, they also have a 16 megahertz. Okay, timer clocks, as you see. So what I can do, so I want to run the timer at 1 kilohertz. So I want to set the timer frequency to 1 kilohertz. So for that purpose, what we can do, we have currently 1016 million basically. This is the frequency of the input clock source. And we want 1000. We divide 1000. And we subtract -1 to get the prescaler value. So if I set this value, okay, if the input clock frequency is 16 megahertz, 16 million basically, and if we divide by this value plus 1, we get 1000. So our counter is incremented every 1 millisecond because it's running at 1 kilohertz. Okay, and also there's one important thing I want to explain is that whatever you set, you have the limitation. So this is something very important in embedded systems, just to be careful with that, is the number of bits you have. So the prescaler can hold only 16-bit value, which means that the maximum it can hold is around 64,000. Okay, so if I set, let's say, add another one, for example, I cannot set because it exceeds the maximum value it can hold. So if I add another one to make 159,000, it doesn't work. You see? But I can set something very close to 60,000. It's gonna work. But if I set 70,000, will it work? No, it doesn't work because it exceeds the maximum value it can hold. Okay, so let's go back to our 15,999. Okay. So for this time being, I think it's enough because we want to check the timer, how it works, like how the counter is incremented. So we can generate the code, I think. If we go to project manager, everything's set correctly. One more time. Okay, let's generate the code. So the project generation is over. Let's close this tab. Then here you need to be careful because sometimes I start using main.c or any other file from the other project, not the project we need. So I would recommend to close all. Then we go to our project. Then we open the files from here. So first thing, if we check, we have a new function, timer1 in it. And we have those settings based on the configurations we did in the graphical tool. So we have timer1, we have our prescaler, we have our period, counter mode, everything based on our configuration. Okay, next thing, what do we do? First, we enable the timer, we start the timer. So for that, we have this function, base start. And the argument is this string that holds all the settings of the timer1. Okay, next thing, I'm going to create new variables, timer1 and timer2. And I will explain in a few minutes why we need them. And then within the while loop, I have this small code snippet. So what it does is that using this function, halt time get counter, we get the counter of the timer. Okay, we store it in this variable timer1. Then we have 1 second delay. So this halt delay is delay in milliseconds. So when we have 1000 milliseconds, it means it is 1 second. Then we again read the value of the counter, but this time we will store it in timer2. We wait 1 second, and then since it's within the while loop, we will keep doing that. Okay. And another important thing is that as you might notice, I'm writing my code between these commenting guards here and also here as well. Timer1, timer2, we have code begin, end, and same just over here. Next thing, we're going to debug. Let's see how it works. So I've already connected my microcontroller. I'm flashing it. Let's see how it works. Okay, we're in debug mode, and it's perfect moment to introduce one really important debugging tool that we call live expressions. So here, what we can do, we can monitor the global variables in real time. So we just have two global variables, if you remember, timer1 and timer2. Then let me resume and look at those values. And can you guess what's happening here? Okay, hope everything is clear, but let me just briefly explain what's happening here. So we first, for example, get the value of the counter. So we have, let's say, 30,000. Then we wait for 1 second, then we store the counter value again. And we store it in timer2. So next time, in timer2, we should have 31,000. So that's why the difference between them is always around 1000. Because our counter, our timer is working at 1 kilohertz. So the counter is incremented 1000 times per second. Okay. And you see it started from, let's say, 0, because we reached the auto reload value. We reached 64,000, so it cannot go further. That's why it has to start from beginning. Okay, Then, as you see, we have around 1 second between them. And we wrote this within the while loop. That's why it keeps recording the counter value. Next thing, what I can do, let's again open the timer, the IUC file I've already opened before. And then what I want to do instead of this, I want to set this value. So if I set this number, what's happening is that our clock frequency is 16 megahertz. Then I divide by this number plus 1, and the frequency of the timer would be 2000 hertz, not 1000. So before we had 1000, right now we have 2000. So what I do, I just save, then I generate the code. Then if I check timer 1 configuration, just over here, as you see, before we had 15,999, right now we have 7,999. So then I restart, I refresh the MCU. Let's see what we get. Okay, let me open live expressions. And then if I start 4,000, 6,000, 8,000, 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay, so this time the difference is 2000, because in 1 second the counter is incremented 2000 times, because the frequency of the timer is 2000 hertz, 2 kilohertz, and we're waiting here 1 second. Okay, and look, 62, 64, and it started from beginning. Okay, really cool. So we finished the basic operation of the timer. Everything is working. Next thing, we switch to really important topic in embedded systems, PWM, pulse width modulation. So let's go ahead.